Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Chair Yoga. I've been gone for a while and haven't put out any new videos out on YouTube, so I'm kind of glad to be able to start introducing those back onto my channel. So glad you could join me for this Zoom class, which is, of course, how I produce the classes out on YouTube. So thanks for being here. Well, today we're going to start with a different breath practice. So our transitional time, which often is, um, I use breath work to bring us into a more focused awareness of our yoga practice and, changing gears from our daily activity or our morning activity. And I'm calling it a bandha breathing. I don't think that's a term necessarily that has been coined by other yoga practitioners, maybe, but it's kind of an easy one to fit because we're going to be employing the use of the bandhas, which translates in the Sanskrit language as a lock. And it's not as you think of. For me, my immediate understanding of the word lock has to do with like a lock and key, like you're trying to lock something up for safety. This is about the flow of energy or the flow of water, like we think of for the locks along a shoreline. So that's what the bandhas are, is this way of conducting the energy of the body um, through the central channel in a more powerful and mindful way. The root lock is what we call the work that we've done consistently in this class is to strengthen our perineum, the strength of the pelvic floor, the connective tissue there. That is the house of the root chakra. It is also the house of the mula bandha, and that's probably the most commonly utilized bandha in terms of language that you might hear in a traditional yoga class where the teacher is going to bring your awareness into the mula bandha, activate the mula bandha, because it's powerful, it's accessible. It's just another way, perhaps, of expressing our our intention that we've been using in this class of strengthening the pelvic floor. So the Mula Bandha, again, I think is common. The other one, Uddiyana Bandha, is the navel area, pulling in and up. So I'm just going to remind you that when activating these bandhas, especially these first two, Mula Bandha and Uddiyana Bandha, I spelled them out in the email I sent out just in case you're curious and want to look it up. Then you would know the words and you could do a little search on it. But I'm not going to get into all kinds of technicality. Floor of the pelvis, the navel area, those are the two ones that we might already be aware of, that we're utilizing them when we're using our core strength. I'm just going to call them out, that we're utilizing from the ancient tradition of yoga to employ that, so that we're directing there's considered in the yoga tradition, quite a pool of energy, of very powerful kundalini energy in the pelvic floor, excuse me, in the pelvis itself, in the pelvic bowl. And so this is a way of, garnering that strength of that and that powerful energy and bringing it up along the central channel and kind of distributing that throughout the body as needed to stabilize, to create more strength. Finally, the throat chakra, that bandha is called the Jaladhara. That's not one I use often, so I had to kind of check. And it's not an employment of anything where you're trying to, use some strength and kind of tense up or pull up or anything like that. It's more of a posture. So it's more like you're dropping your chin in towards your throat, just a little drop of the head, pulling your chin in towards your throat. And that's a very wonderful stabilizer for the neck. So just bringing yourself into just that tilt, kind of pull in, pull back, very stabilizing for the neck. Because sometimes the postures forget about the neck area in terms of its fragility, that it's a little bit fragile sometimes for certain people. So that is a good, powerful tool to kind of stabilize yourself when you're particularly like standing poses, or just every day when you're holding yourself in your own upright position. And if you have a tendency to feel some strain in your neck, that there's a stabilizing factor by just sort of dropping the chin and being aware that you're utilizing that powerful lock there in the throat chakra. So so the use of the breath through that, I'll talk us through as we get going here about how that'll be the difference. I think that the top layer here that I want to cue you into is, how sometimes our breathing is, the visualization of it is that the inhale ascends and that the exhale descends. This does not use that. This is going to be a little different from that. The inhale expands and the exhale ascends. So it's a pulling in and up. So if you just think of that pulling in and up, that you're utilizing your pelvic floor and then up into the navel area to just pull your body, pull the musculature, the tiny but strong and powerful musculature of that core in and up. So that's what the exhale does. It's done on the exhale and it's up. So I know that that's a little bit contrary to what we've often used as our image, but this one is going to be that way. So I'll try to use plenty of reminders to get us going with this bond of breathing. And I do intend to use it fairly regularly. Today's just kind of day one as we come into some new awareness of a breath technique that's really powerful to strengthen ourselves. So let's begin our transitional time. So find your way into a nice upright position, not using your backrest, bringing yourself forward. If you got a block, awesome, because that's always going to be a way to pull in and up. Because when we utilize those inner thigh muscles like that to hold the block in place, if you're using the block between your inner thighs here, you've got that good reminder. And we've been consistently doing it. I've not named it, in terms of any use of the bandhas for that, but that is what we've been doing, and that's the power of it. It's a great strengthener, and it's like whenever you can feel that you're just needing a little more stability in whatever you're attempting, think of that as your first go-to. First go-to is, have I pulled in and up with the bandha strength, with the core of, that perineum activity, or lifting in and up. That's a great place to start. It can't hurt. It's never going to be like wrong. I think that's always going to be a good place to stabilize. So just remembering that as we get started. So close your eyes, if you will. And, this is how the closing of the eyes, when we get to the end of the class, and we often, do sort of a meditation, a guided meditation, we close the eyes then too, because it's like we're going to take that sense, one of the senses, and that one, our vision, out of the picture for a moment, so that we cannot be disturbed or distracted by what's going on around us, and that we can come into the inner view. So it's like we're taking our vision inside instead of using it to view the external world. We're using it to view the internal world. So eyes are closed as we begin. And just for right now, just find your awareness of your breath just as it is. You don't need to overthink or worry. And that's true for everything we're doing today. I've given you, an idea of what I'm going to approach today, but don't overdo it or think that this is I hope it's not off-putting in any way, that you can still do your practice with the confidence that you always have. Flip your hands so the palms are open. If you haven't done that, let's use that mudra, opening our hands to a position of receptivity. And then set your intention for class today. What do you need from yoga? This is a self-inquiry. Remember to breathe all the way through your breath cycle in and all the way out. Soften and relax your mouth, particularly your tongue. Let it be soft in your mouth. And you'll start to feel how the jaw relaxes and the facial muscles relax. As we set the intention for this class, we can just kind of finish that up with, and so it is. And so it is. And then maybe you flutter your eyes open, maybe not, as we just begin just that directed kind of breathing now, just as to help us in our transition. Inhale expands. I'm going to use the term belly rise. Exhale, we're going to pull in and up. And I'm going to just say belly falls. So it's not like that expansion of the belly that the first cue offers, but it's a pulling in and up. And you're using, even if you can't really name them or you can't remember exactly where, but you know that you're utilizing now by doing this, engagement in and up as you exhale. You're exhaling while that's going on. You're using that ancient but still used practice of strengthening, stabilizing your core. So let's begin. Inhale, belly rise, expansion. Exhale, belly falls. That means the in and up action of the bandhas. Inhale, belly rise. Exhale, belly falls. Pull in and up. Keep going at your own pace. Remember to complete that exhale. It's always been true. It's always been useful to do it that way, but particularly when we're capitalizing on this bandha breathing, that's when the exhale is being done, and that is when we're utilizing that core strength. Inhale, belly rise. It's expansion. It's good for your diaphragm. Exhale, belly falls. So in and up. Maybe squeezing the block to remind you of that action. Keep going. Let's stay with it just a little bit longer. Last time. And open your eyes. If you haven't done that, let's get the eyes open now. And then you'll use that breath whenever it seems appropriate to you, whenever you're looking for stabilization or, I might call it out, like let's all join in that together. Let's begin with some movements that take us into the joints. So we'll start by lifting up and down with the arms. Press your feet to the floor so you feel the sense of grounding that provides. I want you to really feel your sit bones in your chair seat too. So you feel like your body is very connected to the space you occupy. And this movement through the joints of the shoulder is done vinyasa style. So we connect the breath to movement. Just for something different, try inhaling as you come down with your arms and exhaling when you bring your arms up. And then maybe that way you can come in and up with the Mula Bandha breath or that Bandha breathing. Inhale here, exhale up. Inhale down with your arms swinging, and the exhale is what brings you up. If you're finding difficulty with that, that's just not the rhythm of your breath. Do what you need to do. Don't sweat it. We'll meet with the arms up. Just hold it, breathing both in and out. And then let's coordinate that breath or sync it up. Palms will come together as we inhale. Exhale, we bow at the heart. Inhale up. Exhale all the way around like a backstroke. Let's do a couple of those. When we bring our arms down and they land alongside the frame of the chair, let's pull back so you can feel the arch of your back body, the cow pose. Excuse me, the cow pose. I'm coming around. Feeling the arch of the back body. Grab your kneecaps. Exhale, pull in and up. Yep. Stay with that breath though. Let's just breathe in and out as we let that, form, that shape in the body get restored. So we're familiar with it again. And we begin the inhale and the exhale. In and up. No better pose than cow and cat to utilize Bandha breathing. Keep going. Really exaggerate the movement of your spine. Last time. All the way through. Let's do some shoulder rolls now. Just finding your own natural rhythm of breath, squeezing that block to keep that core strength activated. Feel your feet to the floor. Try one shoulder at a time instead of both shoulders at the same time. Let's try alternating, so one shoulder then the other. So a little more mind-body connection required, a little more finesse. And when we switch the direction, we're going to do some strokes like a swimming, like an action of swimming. So as you begin to roll the shoulder forward, use the full length of your arm, and I want you to turn your head accordingly, kind of like you would do if you were swimming, if you were taking a stroke. A full stroke and a movement through the shoulders. Keep your arms close to the body. Last stroke. Come all the way down. Let's inhale, palms together overhead. Exhale, bow and up. Exhale now into that W shape where you're creating a more exaggerated back bend. Inhale up. Exhale, pull in and up. Last back bend, in and up with the bond of breathing. Find your scarecrow arms, so elbows bent, but fingers and hands are down. So you see if you can relax around your shoulders. It's so challenging, isn't it? Because there seems to be this hunching, shape around the shoulders and neck that happens. See if you can relax that around your neck and hold those elbows, utilizing a whole different structure of the arm muscles. And we'll just move hands up and down, a little rotating in the shoulders, a little bit into the elbows. Find your fullness of breath. I have a tendency, I'm really trying to catch myself, of moving too fast, which isn't really in sync with a decent breath. So pay attention to what your breath cycle is. Don't try to keep my pace up. It's not reliable. Up and down. And when we come down, let's go slow. Go slow so you can really feel the letting go experience in your body. And all the way down. I'm going to lose the block. We're going to get into the legs here. I think I talked a lot this morning, so I want to get into the body as soon as possible. Let's get a hold of our leg using the underside of your thigh. We'll start with moving the foot around so you're into the movement of your ankle. Now, the temptation is to lean back. Don't think at this juncture you need to. So keep yourself quite upright while you do it. Shoulders over hips, you're not tilting back. Time to move into the knee now, so you can discontinue the movement of the ankle now and just start moving throughout the knee. You want to do 3 or 4 circles going each direction, so a nice lateral stretch of the knee joint. Trying to keep yourself upright. Don't lean back. Then we're going to hug the knee into the chest, so grab hold of your shin, pull in, flex that foot. Sit up real tall. Press the foot on the floor, the standing leg. Press it down. Then let's go back to that breath. Inhale, expand. Exhale, pull in and up while you squeeze your leg in towards your belly. Inhale, expand. Exhale, pull in and up. Good. Let's return to a normal breath, or just the breath that you choose without necessarily need to coordinate that. And then we're just going to take that very bent knee and move it from center out to the external rotation. It's very bent, flexed foot. Go as wide as your range of movement will allow. And then let's do the same thing only with a straight leg. So when we come back to center, straighten it out, hold your leg any way that it serves you. Oh, I goofed up and put lotion on when I don't want it. So it's a straight leg up and a straight leg that goes to the side. So using any part, some people hold their big toe. I've never been a big fan of that, but it's commonly done. So if you're moving your leg, it's as straight as you can. You're going to direct it the way you can. And again, the tricky part is try not to lean back into the backrest. Try to keep yourself upright, straighten out that leg. Let's bring it back to center. We're going to go from straight leg to bent knee. Just that, straight leg to bent knee. I'm going to encourage you to pick up the pace here. And let your breath keep up with that quicker pace. And bring both feet to the floor. Any reset, any kind of movement your body needs, and be sure to check in with the neck and how your head needs to move. So don't forget that part. And we'll go to side two. We're going to sweep up that leg, get it up there, and we start with the ankle. Now get yourself upright. Don't lean back. Use good, strong belly strength here to keep yourself upright. If you can connect to the Bandha breathing in this point, good, awesome. I want to be sure you're moving toes. I forgot that on the first go around. I hope you were doing that. Move the toes too. Let's get into the knee. Find your breath now. Make sure you're breathing fully. We're going to hug that knee into the chest, grab hold of the shin, pull in. Now this is a really good time to take that inhale, pulling in, but you're expanding. You know, you expand and then the exhale in and up. So inhale, we got our knee held inside. We got the expansion of the belly. Exhale in and up from the pelvic floor. One more of those. Good. And let's take that bent knee and move it off to the side and back to center, holding onto the chair or, you know, however you stabilize yourself. Whatever you need to do. It might be different from the way you did it on the first time. The other side. Oh, let's really flex that foot. Yep. Remember the fullness of the breath. You want to feel the fullness of the inhale and the exhale as best you can. Go to that external rotation and back to center. Now we're going to do the same movement, only the leg will be straight. So it's a straight leg over and up and as high as you can. See what you can do. Hold it, hold your foot, hold your leg, any way that you can. Some people, I'll bet, have a strap. That's a nice prop for yoga, is to have a strap, and you can put that around your foot and move it that way, give you some extra support. We're going to meet with the leg out front now, very straight. So just simply a straight leg and bent knee, a very straight leg and a bent knee. Find your rhythm. Hold yourself upright. Try not to lean back in toward the chair. Press that standing leg. The foot on the floor helps you stabilize, gives you more power. Good. Now this time, let's take that straight leg and come all the way down, the straight leg down. Heel is down and toes are up. So we've just got one straight leg. Take a big inhale with me. Exhale, reach down toward your foot or fingertips toward your ankle. Breathe both in and out. See if you can employ that Bandha breath here. And include the tucking the chin in towards your throat. This will be a perfect time for you to experience that. It's a good way to hold yourself here. Let's give it one more breath. Straight leg out. Bring yourself up. Maybe your hands come to the thighs. We're just going to switch since we didn't do the other side. So switch legs. So there's an extended leg in front of you. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. And then set yourself up. Press that standing foot, the foot that's just pushing down into the ground. And the straight leg is getting the stretch while you employ your Bandha breath. And include now the tucking the chin in towards your throat. It's just a slight movement of the head. Remember to complete your exhale, no matter what. Even if you're not sure if you're getting hold of this Bandha thing, just stick with the basics. Inhale completely, exhale all the way out. We'll jump our hands to our thighs. We're coming back up. Get both feet to the floor, and let's do any kind of adjustment our body needs. Let's take our wide angle. Heels in, toes out. I'm going to say let's hold on to the chair. And then just jump a leg over. Stay with the same leg and how wide you want to do it. So you could go very, very wide, or you could have it, a little smaller because that's what works better for your body. So this setup is completely individualized, as really all of them are, but it really kind of comes to light right here. So be sure it's a jump. I'm not really exaggerating that. Try to lift that foot up and bring it back with the same lift. That's going to give you some nice workout of that core belly strength, that abdominal wall deep down. Next time you're over there and legs are together, let's squeeze them together. Knees are tilted to the side, and then where our upper body can twist now the other way. Knees go one way, our upper body goes the other way. Try to find the verticality of your spine. It's real tempting to lean one way or another. So find the verticality of your spine here. See if you can find your sit bones to help you out with that. So you're balanced in, right to left. Pay attention to your shoulder blades now. Don't worry about the breath in terms of, the employment of that Bandha, unless you're into it. But otherwise, I want you to use a breath that's supportive and natural to you so you can bring your focus into what your shoulder blades are doing and how you're trying to turn your head and create a little more movement throughout your shoulders and neck area. And adjust it. When your body says, whoa, that's too much, you make the adjustment. We're not going to force anything. And then turn your head to look center. Now stay with me. And this time I want you to take your chin and bow toward the opposite shoulder. So you can employ that Jaladhara, that's that throat lock, as you tilt your head down and you're sort of tilting your chin toward the opposite shoulder. Breathe in, breathe out. Good, head comes back to neutral. We'll bring our legs and arms back to neutral. Any adjustment your body might need, we'll do that now. And we'll go to side two when you're ready. So you're stepping over and back. It's a step. Keep upright, don't lean back. I like holding onto the chair because it helps you keep your shoulders back. It provides, instead of rounding forward and kind of getting sloppy, it keeps us very upright, very good posture. Last time, and we're going to bring those legs together. Make sure your feet are kind of close to the chair leg and squeeze your legs together, squeeze them together, and we're turning our upper body the opposite way. We got to immediately find our way into a vertical spine. So find the balance in your pelvis, right to left, left to right. You don't feel like you've pushed all of your body weight into one butt cheek and not the other. You can balance that. And then pay attention to your shoulders, your neck, and your head as you breathe your way into this twist. Very, very familiar. It's nothing new. You've done it lots of times, so you can trust your own experience when you're deepening into a twist. Your felt experience, that's the guide. Big breath in and out. Big breath. Come on. And then we'll unwind. Your head's neutral now. Now hold your body in the twist. We're going to do the same thing that we did the other time, the other side, where you drop your chin towards your opposite shoulder and you employ now the Jaladhara Bandha, pulling, like you're just allowing your a stabilization of the neck and head here with just this subtle shift in how you're holding your head in your around your throat area. Good. And then we'll bring our head back to neutral, arms and legs come back to neutral. Let's kind of unwind from that by circling around, circling through the pelvic bowl. Think of your pelvis as a bowl, and you want to make sure you're scraping the sides and getting all around it. Do several movements in the same circular direction before you change directions, but I'll let you call that out. When it's time for you to change the direction of your circle, you'll do it. Let's get some little more what are more traditional core strengthening. Touch your fingertips towards on your shoulders, just a touch, and go from dips to the side. Plant your feet. Don't let your knees start wandering down. I don't want you to sag yourself down. Keep your legs strong as you go from side to side. And then, let's just kind of step it up a little bit by doing 2 of them on each side. The more you sort of exaggerate the movement, that your arms are lifting and you can exaggerate this, the better. You'll just get better stretch out of it. Relax your mouth. And then when you're ready, we'll start introducing another way, and that's the crisscross. So what I'm asking you to do is to create your own little pattern. So, you're going to do the crisscross. You're going to do some of the side to side. You're going to just stay with this intentional movement of core strengthening in your own creative way. Full breath in and out guides you. Few more breaths, stay with it. Let's meet upright. We've got our little chicken wings here. Let's circle those out. Bring them way in toward the center, almost touching. And then we'll change the direction of that. And open wide into a big T. Take a look from one hand to the other. Press your feet to the floor. So you're just turning your head so you can feel the mobility you can feel now in your neck and how your head is moving. A couple of those, just looking, feeling. You don't need to look at me. When we come back to center, when we feel like we've done a pretty good job for the whole thing, pull yourself off center with those arms holding in their T shape, palms are up, thumbs pointing back. Pull yourself off center and just feel how the core has to activate to keep you on the chair and to move in this way. Off center, arms in a T. Find the fullness of your breath now. When we finish it up here, you'll be really feeling of the deep breath in and the deep breath coming out. Open and close now. Open those arms. I've flipped my hands so they're facing forward, rounding through the back body when you come into the closed position. So it's big open, and close includes the roundness of the back, the C-shaped curve of the cat. Great. All the way down with those arms. Any movement your body needs. Let's get our legs to wander in toward the center. Hands at the waist. Bring yourself up to standing. Take your time. Focus now so you feel real confident as you balance your way up with your core strength. Let's meet in mountain pose. I want you to just look down at your feet, make sure they're straight. Imagine the block. Let's try the imaginary block here and you've got that between your thighs and you're squeezing. Now let's do that breath again, closing your eyes, finding your traditional position for mountain. But let's introduce again the belly rise on our inhale, which is expansion. Exhale, pull in and up, squeeze the imaginary block for the Bandha breath. Inhale, belly rise, that's expansion. Exhale, belly falls, pull in and up, following the Bandha path. Belly rise and belly falls. Expand and pull in and up. Excellent. Let's get to use of the chair now, shall we? So as we let our breath just find its own rhythm of breathing, I'm going to put my chair in such a way you'll see me better. I'm not saying you've got to do exactly what I do, but I do want you to be positioned in a way that you've got the back of the chair available for your use. Hands are going to come to that chair, come to the back of the chair, and our first stretch is that L-shaped stretch. So we've got our hands at the back of the chair. Make sure your feet are straight. Your feet and legs are in the same posture that you used for a mountain pose. There's really no difference. And we're stretching through the spine, through the length of our arms and the sides of our bodies, into the armpits. Keep your head right there. This is a good one to use the tuck of the chin. Use that Jaladhara. Pull the chin in toward your throat. Try to do this with as little bend of the knee as you can. You're stretching through the tightness of your hamstrings and the tightness of your calves. Full breath in and out. Kind of hold your head in a particular way. So that's going to protect and stabilize your neck for you. Pulling that chin in toward the throat. Good. We're going to come up now and start walking forward. Right foot forward, left foot stays back. Use the chair legs to help you know where to put your feet. You want them as wide apart as your chair legs are. Try to get that back foot so that the toes are pointing toward the chair. I know they'll kind of wander off toward the side, but do your best so that the back foot is also pointing toward the chair. And we're going to bend into the front knee into warrior one. So this can be done with a flat foot back there, which is a real powerful stretch for the back of the leg. Or you can keep your heel, let your heel lift up and you got the toe down. That's my favorite way to do it. I like the stretch better. I feel stronger to me. So that's how I do it. But it's done both ways. So if you're familiar with it and have always used it that way, heel down, that's a great way, or heel up. Take your time now to bring your body real upright, pull in that chin toward the throat. See if you can just find the pathway of the bandhas. Let's bring hands together at the prayer position at the heart. Stabilize. Hip headlights are shining toward the chair. And let's create the proud warrior. So the arms lift up as close to the head as you feel comfortable. I put mitten hands on here. I want thumbs pointing back and fingers all joined together. Pull back and create more of a back bend for yourself, or at least invite that in. See how that works. and go back to the full awareness of your breath. Excellent. Let's come back down with our hands to the chair and step feet now together like you would do, in standing in mountain pose. So I want you to just sort of shake that out. So you're fairly close to the chair, and here's where we're going. The same back leg is going to just stretch back. And when you exhale, you're going to bring your knee towards your face as you round into a little C-shaped curve. Inhale out and back. Exhale in and up. Inhale out and back. Exhale in and up. Last time, out and back, in and up. Beautiful. Let's get both feet to the floor and shake that out. Right foot forward, left foot back, just like we started with, only this time the foot is very definitely pointing out away from center as you come into the warrior two position. So right knee is bent and it's kind of moving in the direction of the chair. Back leg is straight. Extend your arms shoulder height. Start with palms down. Make sure you have that line up with your feet. It is important that they have an alignment. That usually it is that front heel starts it off, and you got to let that back foot align either the heel to heel or the heel to the back arch. Flip your hands now so palms are facing up. Use your Mula Bandha now. Pull in and up. Use the bandhas. And just see if you can hold this beautiful, familiar pose, but employing the strength of the bandhas. Nice. Let's get our arms down. We'll just walk ourselves out of the pose. Come back. Now I've got to move my chair. I don't think you would need to necessarily, but I'm going to so that I maintain contact with you and you can continue to see what I'm doing. So we're back and ready for the second side. Any movement your body needs to bring you here, be sure to do it. Invite that in. We're starting off with the L shape once again. Stretch those hamstrings, stretch the calves, drill your heels down into the floor. Include pressing the whole surface of your foot. Tuck that chin in towards your throat. Jaladhara Bandha. Good stretch. Pull the buttocks back. Fullness of breath. When we start to come up, that left foot now, left foot forward, right foot back into warrior one. Hips are shining toward the chair. So either the heel pops up back there or you keep the heel down. Bent knee. That left knee is bent. And we come into our warrior one. So make your way into palms together at the heart. See if you can find that bandha breathing to help you. Invite in that proud warrior. Put your mitten hands on. Shoulder blades slide down the back. Invite a back bend. So that means you're pulling your hands back. Let your head kind of glide with that. Maybe you can lift up your face toward the ceiling if your neck is okay with that. Smooth out the breath now. You can feel the fullness of both the inhale and the exhale. Excellent. Let's get our hands back to the chair. Bring your feet together. Maybe there's a little stepping, but you're a little closer to the chair now. We're going to do that. Pull back with the right leg all the way back and exhale as you bring nose to knee. Back, nose to knee. Last time. And both feet to the floor. Let's finish it off with warrior two. Left foot forward again, right foot back, bending into the left knee. Now this time, remember your back foot is pointing away from center here, and you're finding that alignment of the feet. You can always hold on to the chair. Let's extend the arms, the shoulder height, palms down. Find that Mula Bandha, in and up. That's it. Maybe you can grow that root down so you can feel very stabilized through the lower body by growing the root all the way down, like this, like your spine is rooting too. Beautiful. Let's get our arms down and shake it out as we bring the feet together. Let's try one last stretch of the L shape. Stretch out into that L shape. Tuck the chin in towards your throat. And we'll come back up. All right, now just take a wide stance and just some flip-flops, just sort of, letting your arms flop around. Soften the knees so there's buoyancy there. I think my feet are most comfortable when they're sort of heels in and toes out. It seems to be their natural way of falling. So just feel it out. If your knees are comfortable, then you've probably landed right where you want to be with your feet. Let's do one last thing, and it's a side stretch. Hands are going to glide down the body. Doesn't matter which side you start, up and overhead glide, one hand down the opposite leg, turning your head so your arm and your ear sort of interact here. Wait it out. Wait for gravity's pull, and you can start to feel your body cooperating with the gravity. Sweep yourself out of that. Go slow. Any movement you need before you switch to the other side. Side bend. It's all the way to the side. There's no forward movement. There's no back movement. It's a complete side bend. We wait on gravity. Wait on the sensation of it. How crazy to think we're waiting on gravity. We're waiting of our own awareness of it, right? Good. And then we'll use our arm to bring us all the way up. Good. How about some stretching of the feet a little bit? So you can just walk that out by coming high onto your toes, stretching through the sole of the foot. And you could balance on your toes. See if you can try balancing without the use of that chair to support you, or just a touch. Yeah, just kind of play with that. So you're into your ankles and your feet, a little balancing, but a nice stretch for the feet, the soles, that tension that we get sometimes in the sole of the foot, stretching that out. All right, let's come into Shavasana now. So we're going to bring ourselves, I'm going to just leave myself be here. That doesn't need to move. I'm going to bring myself over here. All right. Froze up there for a while. So finding your way into the chair, sitting back into it. Maybe you've grabbed a second chair. Some of you I know do that. Just notice how you're catching up with your breath and starting to relax into this final part of class every time we meet and we come into our relaxation time. I know it's a favorite for everybody. So you want as much support as possible. Whatever you got time for, that you could get as much support as possible. So let's just let the breath simmer itself down, where you're no longer trying to guide it, and instead you're allowing the breath to be as it is, but you observe it and you let it escort you into this time of reflection, quieting. In any moment, I can surrender to the powerful presence of love through prayer, contemplation, and stillness. I use these cards to help me pull something inspiring into my life on a daily basis, and something that I maybe can respond to on that day. Like, I could do that. So just feel how you're supported by the chair and you're allowing that to be true. You can feel that you're being held. And sometimes it's helpful to wrap your arms around, your hands around your arms and kind of into a self hug, so that you can feel the held experience in every way possible. Even stroking, letting your hands just stroke down the upper arms. And either holding them like that or not, settling in now for your Shavasana experience. Eyes are closed, of course. And when we come into this awareness of the senses, we start by closing down the sight, our sense of sight, so that we can become more intimate with the interior view. But we could also utilize, what the sound in the room is, so that we're aware of our sense of hearing. So quiet down so that you're aware of sounds. Maybe you could even hear the sound of your own breath. Move into your awareness of your sense of taste by just simply bringing your awareness to your mouth. We can become aware of our sense of touch by feeling what is touching surface. That your bottom is in the chair seat, that your back is leaning against the backrest. Whatever sense of touch, even your clothing on your body could become part of your awareness. That you can feel how the cloth is touching your skin. And then our final awareness of the senses is the smell. So I simply want you to bring your awareness to your nostrils and try to breathe for a while in and out through your nostrils. Nice and easy. And then allow yourself now, with the help of that awareness of our senses to guide us, we just come into a place of stillness. peace, ease. We feel our whole body soften. Our whole body relaxes and softens. I'm going to read from my book, Poems from the Heart of Yoga. This one is called Witness. When I can be the witness, all manner of miracles occur. Old wounds heal, the past reveals itself to be released. Present dramas play themselves out without sinking emotional talons into my soft skin. The witness welcomes truth and dares to meet reality on its own terms. It is the ground in which the seeds of transformation take root and finally flower. When the witness is awake, the lake of mind is still. And in that mirrored surface, I see my own true face as spirit smiling back at me. When I can be the witness, all manner of miracles occur. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose and exhale that out of the mouth like a sigh. Ah. Do that again, inhaling through the nose and exhaling out of the mouth like a sigh with sound attached. We're going to bring ourselves back now into a more upright position. So you need to get your feet back on the floor. We need to maybe pull away from the backrest and sit up nice and tall with some awareness of our posture again. Thank you for joining me. Let's sync up our breath as we close out, inhaling, palms together overhead. Exhale, we bow to our own heart. Inhale up and exhale. We're going to share this beautiful, peaceful energy with our communities. Palms come together at the heart space as we bow to ourselves and to each other. Namaste, my friends. Thanks so much for joining me.